So you finally got your stream setup ready to go, and you're ready to start live streaming today. The only problem is that you heard some advice out there about which games are bad and which games are good if you're looking to grow your audience. So you go ahead and you take this advice to heart, and now you're just sitting there looking at your screen thinking, what the hell am I going to play today? I'm going to talk to you about a couple of tips that I think you'll find very useful, as well as how you can leverage certain tools so that you'll be able to grow your audience regardless of which game you're playing, and you can just focus on what's important, which is just you having fun. Hello, my name is Steven and welcome to my channel. I've been streaming on Twitch for about 2 years now, and I'm still pretty new to this YouTube thing. So if you find anything in this video useful, you can definitely let me know by leaving a comment down below or just pressing the like button. Now on to the video. Now before we get started, let me just say this. If you're a casual streamer, meaning you just get home from work and you don't really care about growing your audience, you just want to go live and play with a couple of friends, let me give you the short answer right now. Play whatever the hell you want! If you're looking to grow as a streamer while still gaining a following, while the answer might still be the same, there's a different layer of complexity that we need to touch, depending on the types of games you want to play. So let's start off by addressing the obvious elephant in the room. Fortnite, Apex, COD, all these games that just dominate the streaming platform. And while they may have the highest number of viewers, they also come with the highest number of streamers, which are all competing for the most valuable commodity in streaming: attention. And yes, Twitch has made some changes to improve discoverability on their platform, but even then, it's still bad. Now, does that mean that you shouldn't play these games and you should go play something else that you don't enjoy just because there's too much competition in this area? No, bad idea. You never want to play a game against your will because you will be miserable, your stream will notice, and now it's not just you having a bad time, your viewers are having a bad time too. So no, don't do that. Now, it makes sense that a lot of top games are popular among streamers and viewers because they're obviously fun to play and they're obviously fun to watch, and a lot of people will naturally fall into this category, so let's touch on that subject first. There is a lot of bad advice out there from streamers saying that if you want to succeed, you have to stream these games on a non-stop basis at every single waking moment that you can. And they'll even throw in a couple of buzzwords and phrases just to make it seem like they know what they're talking about. Phrases like... "We crankin' up in here. The grind don't stop. These girls are stealing all my viewers." This is the worst case of tunnel vision I've ever seen, and it's terrible advice for anyone who's just starting and has no following outside of their streaming platform. Now, don't get me wrong, this was a viable strategy back in the day when streaming was more niche. But now with everyone, including their grandmas, are a streamer now, the chances of you succeeding this way, while still technically possible, are very, very slim. So now the question is, what can you do to grow and succeed in a gaming category that's already oversaturated? Well, let's talk about that, starting off with the two most important things: diversify and maximize your reach. Now for a moment, I want you to go into your favorite game category and start scrolling down, and I want you to think, how many of these people are doing the exact same thing? How many of them are just simply playing the game and just trying to get their wins, or they're just trying to be the best? And now take that information and think, how can you, the average Joe, stand out among all of them? Well, there's actually a couple of ways you can stand out. The first one being probably the most obvious one, and is just be the best. Be the best at this game that you're playing and beat everyone else to a point where your ability is recognized throughout the community. I personally think that this one is actually the hardest one to achieve, and yet it's the one that most people try to lean towards. It's the one that they go chasing after for the first. So number two is you can try playing the game differently from the rest of the people. You can try to find your own set of rules and attach yourself to them so that it'll help you stand out and just have fun with it. So let's say that you play Apex Legends as Pathfinder and you just happen to be really good at landing those crazy zipline trick shots, right? So now you just went from being the most generic player in the world to being the crazy Apex Legends Pathfinder trick shot person. And number three, which is the one I relate to the most, if you're constantly being outplayed by 12-year-olds, well, at least you still have your personality. Which leads into the most important aspect I can think about, which is just be charming, be yourself. Make people want to watch your stream because of who you are, not how good you are at the game. So that way, regardless of whatever game you decide to play, you will stand out. Don't outplay them with skill, outplay them with personality. Because I've seen a lot of streamers out there that whenever I go into their streams, the only thing I can see is just them playing the game like... So my point is that there's a lot of ways out there for you to stand out in the game and be known as the person who does this or the person who does that. And while you might be thinking to yourself, well, Steven, that doesn't really help me with getting discovered now, does it? That's where my next step comes in. So now what I want you to do is take that individuality that you just discovered and set it up on a more discoverable platform. I'm sure this isn't the first time you've heard about posting your clips on Twitter or TikTok or YouTube. And yes, that's very important. Do that. Take a day off your stream schedule and just focus on editing these clips and posting them on your other different platforms. Trust me, it helps. Now, where I see a lot of people fail in this category is that they just put out a lot of bland gameplay videos and they don't focus on the individuality as the main focus on their content. I said focus twice. And I see a lot of them just try to repeat the recipe for success that someone else had, but what they don't know is that the recipe is always changing. So just focus on yourself first, not on the recipe. You gotta keep in mind that your individuality is what's gonna make you stand out. So you gotta be yourself 200%. Alright, and just to put this into perspective, we have the number of Fortnite streamers that are out there, the number of Fortnite streamers who post their content into other platforms, and the number of Fortnite streamers who post their content into other platforms that has something of value that makes them stand out. And when you look at those numbers, suddenly you realize that in an oversaturated market, now you're by yourself. Now there's barely any competition. Now you can find a way to stand out and grow. So we just talked about a scenario where you just want to play mainstream games, but what if you're into less popular games? And just to set a standard, let's just say that a less popular game is a game that on average has about 5,000 viewers and not that many people streaming it. Well, the good news is that if you try to follow everything we just talked about, you're going to have a huge advantage over anyone else, and you might even bring people from other platforms who normally wouldn't be watching that game just to watch you. This is exactly the case of what happened with Among Us, because either nobody knew about the game or nobody cared, but now certainly everyone is watching it. There's a lot of people streaming it, there's a lot of content being made, and the game has a solid amount of viewers watching at all times. However, if you just want to stream and you don't want to worry about editing because, let's face it, you know, that's a lot of work, that's perfectly fine, that's good, that's okay. You probably won't see a spike of growth, but by streaming these games that have a lot less competition in them for viewers, you're more likely to show up in the top few rows of the category and increase your discoverability and increase your chances of someone just stopping by and watching your stream. And now compare that to someone who just started streaming Fortnite 24/7 non-stop and doesn't post anything anywhere else, and they're just sitting there at the bottom of the barrel, hopelessly drowning among all the other thousands of streamers that are out there. That is not fun. As an extra note, if you literally do not care about which game you play, you just want to maximize your discoverability while you're live, I found out about this website called Twitch Strike while I was researching info for this video. And what it does is that it displays categories on Twitch that has the best viewer to streamer ratio. What that basically means is that it's going to show you the games that have the highest number of viewers while also having the lowest number of streamers, which will increase your chance of ranking high and getting discovered. It's also updated every hour, so if you want to use this, right before you go live, you can just go into the website and look at the list, pick out a game that you want to play, and then just play that. I personally wouldn't recommend this because, again, when I stream, I just want to play the game that I enjoy playing. I don't want to be told what to do. But if you want to use this, just know it's totally out there and you can check it out. And honestly, that's all I got for today's video. If you found any of this information useful, hitting that subscribe button would definitely help a lot. And if you have any other tips that you want to share with people, feel free to hit up the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video again, and I'll catch you guys live.